Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. We talk a lot about AI, algorithms, and tech stacks, but what if the real limiter isn't the tools we pick, it's the OS running between the ears? Barbara Wittmann says the survival of the wisest matters more than the speed of the machine. Her company, Digital Wisdom Collective, has trained over 100 tech leaders to embed a human infrastructure that keeps evolving as fast as the tech around them. Today, we dive into the hacks, the failures, and the upgrades behind real digital transformation. Welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me.
What an opportune time to speak to you. The fact that Amazon has just laid off 30,000 people. This against the backdrop of Accenture laying off 11,000 people. For those that don't know, this week Blockworks, the crypto company, laid off their whole media team, their whole newsroom. This is all tech, right? And everyone said, hey, this is a result of tech. And now we are moving at this incredibly fast pace where humans are having to keep up with tech, right? And in the same breath, getting supposedly replaced by tech. What a funny situation and conundrum we find ourselves in.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, there's other companies that are backpedaling that have done exactly the same thing, laid off a bunch of people, and are now finding that AI cannot replace everything. So now they are hiring back certain key resources that they had fired from their customer service operation. So yeah, it's a curious time, and it really, because we are functioning in extremes, it's like it's from one swing of the pendulum to the other, it's either all humans or, we can save a bunch of money. And I am really pushing for, we have to meet somewhere in the middle.
You spent a lot of your time in Germany, and I'm quite keen to find out what the sort of culture is there, because we're not hearing that much news coming out of Europe in terms of what's happening in the States. Is there a different mindset, or is it different companies, or what do you think it is?
There's definitely a very different mindset. So the European culture, or specifically the Germanic-speaking cultures, are very cautious. We want to do things perfect. We are very proud of our engineering background, and that's a beautiful heritage to bring in, but it's not really helping with very rapid innovation cycles. So on the other hand, in the US, yes, there's a lot happening. There's always movement. But then, sometimes they are going a tad bit too fast. So you have, yet again, extremes from let's overplan this to, and I'm exaggerating here, to Scotch tape and bubble gum, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can all learn from different cultures, but regardless of where you live in the world, it is super important that the upgrade as a human to stay relevant really is the mindset that needs to shift, because we need to start not thinking in silos, right? This is my fence that I'm playing in. We need to start looking from it with a wide angle camera and really look at the full picture.
Yes, that was my next question. And I was about to ask you, like all the companies, they invest in all the latest tech. We have to have cutting, bleeding edge tech, but few are really investing in how their people use it. So why do you think the human infrastructure is still the missing link, and when it comes to digital transformation?
Right. It is because we look too singular upon technology. So a transformation project is always viewed as a technology project, but it really is an organizational upgrade. And for the organizational upgrade, you do need the people. So to give you an example that I think people can can visualize.
Yeah.
It's like, two blah pieces of bread, business and technology. We're trying to hold it together. But if you put the human infrastructure into the mix, it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So what would you rather have,
Oh, there was this post about there was a LinkedIn post that you made this week. It was saying what happens when the consultants go and
Yeah.
companies get these AI consultants in, whatever, and then they go, and then everything is just okay, cool. What now? So it feels to me like sort of we need to move past this one-time training, like into something else. It just
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, to me, it doesn't make sense that we've spent so much time in upgrading technology, putting the next version on it, but then before we set it live, we test it, right? And then we show it to the public. Well, we need to start doing exactly the same thing with our in-house people,
I like that.
to really make it a continuous upgrade, and also give them spaces that are safe outside of the echo chamber of their organizations, where they can try out and test and really build a muscle to come back and be empowered. So a mindset
A space to
upgrade.
fail, right? A space to fail.
Yeah, it's a place to fail where no one
Yeah.
judges you.
Yes.
So if you go to a one-time training of your own company, presentation training, communication training, you name it, you are in the room with peers. You really don't want to ask the questions that are moving you,
No
right?
one wants to be that dumb person in the room.
Yeah, yeah. And also when you have consultants in the house,
Yes.
you don't really want to ask them the gory, very basic questions. And yeah, I mean, I was working as a consultant for the longest time. We still need external views at certain points, but then we also need to see how is the organization capable of moving forward past that.
Yeah, but I mean, you worked in SAP, if I'm not mistaken, and in the
Yeah.
non-technical side, I think something like 3% of the non-technical people, which is actually amazing. So how do you, in a company that size, even where do you start with that process? Like, what does that even look like?
Yeah, that's where a lot of companies stop before they even
Yes,
start, because they're like,
yes.
oh man, that's like such a huge undertaking. How can we possibly start this? And here's the secret. Essentially, change starts with one,
Okay.
right? And I bet you any size company has people that are really wanting to change something, that really want to move something forward. These people usually are in the middle of the organization. That basically that's the place where you cannot delegate complexity anymore. They just need to deal with it.
Okay.
And they are basically on the intersection of strategy and execution. So if you empower that middle layer and take a coalition of the willing, and you give them a place where they feel heard, where they feel empowered because they see that others are dealing with the same thing, they actually are inspired and get the tools to go back in their own environment and start building their own little ecosystem.
But would that
So,
not, sorry to interject just there, because
yeah.
would that not be threatening to the top or upper management?
Well, it depends how open-minded the upper management is. Yes, if it's a very crusty old-fashioned company, that may
Yes.
totally rattle the cage.
Moldy braid.
Yeah, yeah. So it needs a little bit of looking beyond,
Okay.
and it is in every C-level leader's interest that their strategy is getting executed, right? So in a way, it's also how do you package it? Me as a C-level leader, I would also prefer somebody who's executing to give me honest feedback and say, hey, maybe we just have to time this a little bit different or stack things a little bit different. So if you give the middle a voice,
Yes.
and you give them a space where they can strengthen their voice, they can become very important value drivers and can save you a ton of money. Because if you are finding out too late that the execution fails, you're just going in
Yes.
cycles. The regular fix is we get more consultants.
And I mean, people think this doesn't happen, but there is nothing like too big to fail.
Yeah.
The people think the Googles and the Microsofts and let's the Amazons, whatever of the world, will just be there forever, but they won't. And at the point, and I believe AI at some point in the future will enable smaller or medium-sized companies to compete on a level with these companies. And if these
Yes.
big companies do not adapt, like you said, empower that middle, they're in big trouble. Even if they have all the money in the world, it ends up cannibalizing itself. That's what happens.
Absolutely. But there's a yes and. I totally believe in the smaller and mid-sized companies that can absolutely benefit from AI and all the happy things that are happening in technology. But you have to empower your people, and it really is a mindset shift. You have to enable people to get out of their victim corner into a adventure and creation corner. So basically, you need to lever the middle layer to be the in-house innovators. Because as a mid-sized company, if you keep bringing consultants in,
Yes.
they will sell the same AI use cases over and over. But your people who are executing and understanding your business processes, they will know best where to start and where to tweak things. But it's also about establishing a culture where you can openly discuss and collaborate.
And that word culture is becoming so important. Without naming names, what type of companies are you currently working with? Just give me a sort of a sense of what are the companies waking up and saying, oh, we need to sort of enable that middle part of our workforce.
Right. So on the very baseline, it is startup companies, right? It is
Interesting.
companies that are growing rapidly, that say, hey, we have something good going, but we need to create a cohesion so we can scale. So this is the best place, honestly, because you can build something that is sustainable. And then on the other end, it would be companies that are in the range up to 1,500 employees. That's sort of the sweet spot.
Okay.
That are like, and what their issue is, they have two little bodies to execute all the initiatives.
Ah, interesting.
So they are in a bind where they're like, well, we have a couple of qualified people, but they are really tired,
Overworked.
and
Stressed.
they have kind of lost their edge to push back, right? They've become the
Yes.
doers in the engine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And industries?
Industries would be a lot of lifestyle, sporting goods, e-commerce, because they have to move very quickly, right? They have to bring innovation to the end consumer. So one would think that the whole AI boom and all,
Yes.
or just adopting, is very heavy manufacturing focused, and it is, but they have a lot of very simple bits and pieces they can automate before you really hit, the people layer. So when you were starting with Amazon, the picking and packing in the warehouse, that
Yes.
totally can be automated. So certain tasks, it's a little bit of a no-brainer. But then what they are missing is you could totally reskill and upskill the people to leverage their power in different ways. And when I started consulting, I was doing a lot of work for big retailers. And we had a similar discussion when we were starting with self-scanning cash out and, all these things. And everyone was like, oh my, now the job of a cashier is going to disappear forever. And the people were needed in other places because you still have a high volume of clients going through the store.
Yes, yes. Why do you think the lifestyle industry is booming the way that it is at the moment? Because it's just massive.
That is a good question, and I wouldn't have a good answer for that. Do you?
No, I don't. And it's something that I thought of this week. And it's sort of, to me, the more we rely on tech and the more we seem to want to break away from it in this weird way, because I just the most of the new big startups are lifestyle businesses, and it's just interesting that they sort of starting to even overshadow many of the AI companies. So yeah, it's just interesting to me.
I think deep down there is something growing within us that we want to see meaning. We want to see
Yes.
in-person experiences, and we don't want to be treated like a number.
Absolutely. Barbara,
So I think any company who can make you feel like a human and who can offer an experience that makes you feel worthy is going to win.
On that beautiful note, I want to thank you for joining me on the pod today. If the listeners want to go and connect with you and find out more about what it is that you do or get you involved in their company, where can they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn and under Barbara Wittmann, or they can look at my website, digitalwisdom.co.
Awesome. I'm going to put all the links in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Perfect.
And to our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Sweat with recycled air, face just hanging on a prayer. Every breath feels pre-approved. I need a sky that's not this roof. I've memorized the sound of steel. Now I just want something real. Exit room weather, I'm stepping outside. Let the thunder baptize what I hide. If the rain burns, then so be it. I'm alive the moment I quit. Ceilings churn with second thoughts. Dreams die slow in parking lots. I stay polite while breaking down. Now I'm done defending ground. You can keep the calm and clean. I'll take the storm and what it means. Exit room weather, I'm stepping outside. Let the thunder baptize what I hide. If the rain burns, then so be it. I'm alive the moment I quit. The air out there cuts through the noise, cold enough to give me choice. If grace is real, it's never warm. It starts right here inside